Dan said this so much at the beginning when I first joined, and I kind of didn't like it because I was just like, what's this guy talking about? Like, money's a mindset. Like, money's what's in my bank. You know what I mean? But I started realizing that
And tech, man.
but I remember when Ipe first said that, like I heard that a year ago. I mean, I started doing the same thing. Like today, I didn't have my first meal until like 1:30 because I was working on a ton of stuff for the lead gen and my then PPE and all the other stuff. But I was like, I'm not eating until I accomplish my main goals first. And hunger drives a person, you know. So I think I think those like little disciplines that I pick up from you and Shiv and Patrick and Eric and other guys and other women in the group. It's just, I think that's what all leads to success, because it's also, Dan said this so much at the beginning when I first joined, and I kind of didn't like it because I was just like, what's this guy talking about? Like, money's a mindset. Like, money's what's in my bank. You know what I mean? But I started realizing that it's really how you reframe your mind, how you think differently and view money differently. And that those disciplines actually add to like your overall bottom line growth and revenue. And so it wasn't until like 6 or not like 8 months in when I was like, this really is more of a mindset game than anything. And so when you start adding those disciplines, like you mentioned, Ipe, I think it's why it, like if you see everyone who's like even making like a few grand a month, you know, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month, there's certain disciplines that follow the people making $2,000 a month that people are also doing making $20,000 a month. Like there's just specific disciplines. So I think when people start living a more disciplined life with time management, their success like starts to expedite.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's discipline. I think that's the biggest thing I learned when I, go to Dan's place and I see how he works. When I see how Shiv works, like these are the things that are the reason why I moved to California, because I'm just picking up different things. We all know ranking websites can make you money. Why do we not stick to it? Because like it requires it doesn't happen overnight. It takes a few months for these sites to rank and start generating money for you. So in that meantime, you just need to stick to a process. That's why we keep saying trust the process, because what does that mean? Like, just means like you got to have faith in the beginning. So you got to do whatever it takes to like maintain that faith. You got to be self-aware. Like if you feel your emotions dip in this business, right, you got to check yourself. You got to be aware that it's dipping and do whatever it takes to get that your emotional bank account up. Because if that drains to zero, like, sometimes I think this whole debate about like free will and versus not free will, we talk about this and debate this all the time. Like, do humans have free will or do we not? Like, a lot of what we do, a lot of the decisions that we make on a day-to-day is based on your conditioning, right? Or your emotional health or your emotional bank account. So it's like, if you want to change where you're at, let's say you're not surrounded with like winners or the greatest people around you. Well, you have to take responsibility, I think, on all aspects of life to ensure that you don't allow yourself to fail. Because like my mindset is like, there is no alternative, like go ahead and go try other stuff if you want. But like, to me, it's like the alternative is like working at a 9 to 5. Like it took Dan, 18 months before he got a first client, like 3-4 months of like being in uncertainty before you generate your first call. Like that's nothing in the game of business. So it's like, there's that saying like burn the ships. Like we have to be able to mentally do that. And it requires faith and all of this, but I think that's something that all the successful I've talked to, they've done something in their mind internally to take them to that level.
Right. Or like, I think for a lot of people, getting rid of something, like you maybe have to get rid of hanging out with a certain friend group, or maybe you have to get rid of maybe your television usage has to drop, cut the cable. Like for me, it was moving out of my grandmother's place. Like, I think everyone has a thing that they know is the thing that's like, they don't, it's tax. Yeah. Like everything has a tax. Everything you do has a price. And especially like, my car leases up and I'm like, I don't I don't want the energy of a car anymore. I live in the city. I don't want it. Like, to me, that actually is like such a mentally freeing thought. I don't have a payment. I don't have insurance. I don't have this thing that my building charges me for every month. So like it just on the scale of everyone has something that they can get rid of. And for a lot of people, sometimes going a little bit backwards is great too. You know, maybe next time for some of you guys, maybe you downsize your house, downsize your bills, downsize your expenses, give some extra room. So it gives you the ability to have more guts to go invest in Legion and go invest in business and not go, oh my God, I lost $1,000 this month. And you get all nervous about it. And like, you know, I think that's where I look at, you know, Dan did this too. He sold his car that he loved. And that's the difference of that car. And he went and got like a really old clunker beater car. This is back in 2008. And that difference of that car, that money was his cushion to be like, okay, I can go, you know, with some savings 18 months and like hope this works. So I think that's important for everyone to like audit your expenses, audit the things that are taxing you. Because there's a lot of things that I call it death of 1,000 cuts, little things that just slice your energy. And another big myth is energy is a finite resource that also needs to be managed. And you got to be really resourceful with your energy, your time, your money. All these things are resources. We're not actually in the money game. We're in a whole bunch of games.